Hey everybody, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 tips that will help you to play difficult bar chords with ease. Let's dive into it. So when I say bar chords, this really refers to any kind of chord that uses a bar. So it's not just your basic major and minor shapes. For example, in genres like jazz, bar chords are used, and the same thing goes for a genre like post-rock. For our first tip then, we're going to look at the fingers themselves, and there are really 2 things that we want to aim for when playing. The first is to play as close to the frets as possible. Whether it's barring or anything else, playing as close to the frets will allow you to get the best intonation, sound, and it'll allow you to do so with as little physical force as necessary. And you can actually test this. So what you can do is you can fret a note as lightly as possible in the middle of the fret here, and then you can take your finger and slide it closer to the fret, and you should get a better sound with the same amount of force, like I'm doing right here. Secondly, we want to make sure that we keep our fingers straight so that we can stay as close to the fret as possible with each part of our finger. And we also want to make sure that we're applying the appropriate amount of pressure to a certain note that we're trying to target with our bar. For example, if I'm playing a minor 11 chord here, I'm barring with my first finger, but I'm really trying to aim for this note right up here. So if I'm making a bar, I want to apply more pressure to this part of my finger here so that I really get that note. And that allowed me to reduce the amount of tension that's happening in my overall gesture here. So when I play this, the pressure is mostly happening here because that's where the bar is most active. Finally, with that in mind, we really want to try and avoid as much tension as possible. So try to avoid really squeezing your hand. And if you need some extra power, then let's move on to the next 2 tips, which will definitely help with that. All right, for our second tip, this is going to center on the right arm. And the idea is that we can use our right arm, which typically rests on the guitar, as some kind of counterbalance like this. And the idea is that we want to rest our right arm on the guitar here, and we want to push in towards our body, which will force the guitar neck to swing out, I suppose, away from our body and out towards the middle here. And so if I do this, I can use my left hand to catch the guitar as it's swinging out this way, and I can use this pushing motion in the right arm to generate some force into my left hand. So what I want to do is basically just hold my hand like this, and if I need some power, I can just push lightly with the right inner forearm here, and that'll help to give me the force I need for my bar. So relatively simple tip, but it can actually go quite a long ways with helping you to be able to make these sounds and actually play for longer. All right, for our third tip, this time we're looking at the right arm. And in this case, what we want to do is we want to try and engage our triceps and our biceps in a sort of pulling motion like this here. So what you can imagine is that your arm is kind of heavy, and we want to be able to use that weight to be able to generate some force. So the point of these arm-based force generation techniques is that we want to take the tension away from our fingers so that we're not causing any strain there. And instead, we want to put that tension into some larger muscle groups. So if I have a bar chord like this here, what I can do, in addition to that right arm technique thing, is I can kind of pull downwards. So if I pull downwards, that also helps to make this motion a lot easier. So once again, it's kind of like a clamp, and I'm just clamping on here, and I'm just pulling the guitar down a little bit with my arms. So I'm not squeezing with my hands, I'm just using those arms to help generate the force. And if you do that, it will definitely make things a lot easier, and it'll help your longevity with playing these kind of chords and shapes. So give those a go. Alright folks, so there you have it. If you like this video, then please make sure to like, share, and subscribe as I try to put out a new video every single week. And if you want to support the channel, then please consider checking out my Patreon page, where for as little as $1 a month, you guys will have access to some bonus content like guitar tabs, lesson notes, chord diagrams, and other little goodies like that. And honestly, the Patreon page really helps me out as it allows me to get some extra equipment to make these videos better. And if you want to know more about guitar technique or what we talked about today, then I also teach private lessons over Skype, and there's a link to my email address in the description below. So thank you for checking this out, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.